A possible ceasefire deal in Gaza could be coming within a matter of just days. This, according to President Biden. He spoke about the ongoing talks on Late Night with Seth Meyers.
There is a path forward with difficulty, but here's the path forward. Look, first of all, the hostages being held must be released. And if we've got at least a principle agreement, there'll be a ceasefire while that takes place.
Israel's mission to destroy Hamas has left many Palestinians with no place to go before a possible ground invasion of Rafah. Our Imtiaz Tyab reports.
On the ruins of what was once Gaza's main coastal road, Palestinians displaced from months of intense fighting are on the move again, this time looking for food. This meager meal is the most people here have had in days. What little there is shared with the smallest fed first. Across Gaza, starvation is so acute the Jordanian military is now airdropping rations. According to the UN, the amount of aid reaching the territory fell by 50% in February compared to the previous month, as Israel continues to build up its military offensive in the southern city of Rafah. And while there's been no official comment on President Biden's remarks, a 6-week ceasefire and hostage release deal could be reached as early as this week. According to Israeli media reports, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu may try to torpedo any deal. Dahlia Scheinlin is a political analyst.
The Biden administration wants a deal before Ramadan. Is that even a consideration for Netanyahu?
He likes to make a show of showing that he can stand up to the Biden administration. Ultimately, America is the real ally Israel can depend on.
Now, here in Israel, and the loved ones of hostages still in Gaza say they're being ignored by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as they continue to plead for an agreement, which could include the release of the remaining women, children, elderly, and those who are seriously ill in Gaza.
And Imtiaz, do we have any sense of where they are in those talks, in those negotiations right now, and what this draft framework really looks like?
Yeah, Chanel, that's a very good question. I think the broad strokes of this agreement is simply this. For a 6-week ceasefire, Hamas would release 40 hostages being held inside Gaza. As we've been saying, that includes women, potentially children, the elderly, and those who are very unwell. Israel would also agree to allow in that desperately needed humanitarian aid into Gaza. You saw a report just now. There are staggering scenes of starvation there, and that aid is badly needed. And although President Biden is signaling huge amount of optimism that we could see a deal potentially as early as this weekend, both the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, and Hamas are being far more cautious. In fact, on Sunday, speaking to Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan, Prime Minister Netanyahu said it was, quote, too soon to discuss any deal. And we've been in touch with a Hamas spokesperson trying to ask them if they were close to a deal. They're also not saying that they have any agreement in hand. And so it's not unusual to see both of these sides playing their cards close to their chest as a deal is worked out. But for the families of hostages who desperately want to see their loved ones released, and those in Gaza who are so desperate to see a pause in the fighting and humanitarian aid to come in, it can't come soon enough. Chanel.
Imtiaz, thanks so much.